In America, we love our cars, but they're just about the most dangerous place we can be. Automobiles are the #1 cause of accidental death. The driver of the car in this reenactment is a stunt driver, but the rest of the people you'll meet are survivors who've returned to help us tell their story.
On March 23rd, 1987, at about 2 in the afternoon, a white sedan came tearing down a highway in suburban Maryland. Driving erratically as fast as 95 miles an hour, the car had crossed the border from Pennsylvania and was speeding toward Baltimore undetected. It was first spotted by Maryland State Trooper Robert Reed.
B-24 Frederick, I'm unable to take that assignment. I'll be in pursuit of a vehicle. I knew the vehicle was going 90 miles an hour, so I had to go faster than that to intercept the vehicle. I kept my position for approximately a mile. I thought possibly the driver couldn't see my vehicle, so I proceeded to pull up alongside the vehicle. I observed a female. She seemed to be oblivious to everything going on around her, and the only thing on her mind was driving that vehicle at that speed. I attempted a couple times to get her attention, and she never looked my way. She just stared straight ahead and kept driving the car. I realized I was not in a safe position, so I fell back. B-24 Waterloo, Channel 1.
10-4 J-15. B-24 has a 1080 on Channel 1. He's westbound 70 at the 71-mile mark.
I overheard the conversation about the high-speed chase proceeding in my direction.
Undercover Maryland Police Sergeant Ken Pollock was 30 miles in front of the speeding car, headed in the opposite direction.
I pulled onto the shoulder of the road just to monitor at that particular time.
The only other officer anywhere in the area was Trooper William Wood, just a few miles ahead. He pulled into a construction zone to wait for the runaway car.
As she got into the construction, Trooper Wood was trying to stay in front of her to slow her down, to give me the chance to get up behind her, and then hopefully we could get her slowed down enough to where we could get her off the roadway without striking any other vehicles. It's a technique we commonly call the rolling roadblock.
But at speeds approaching 100 miles an hour, the rolling roadblock backfired. The white sedan crossed the median and drove head-on into traffic.
I knew when she crossed the median strip, she was coming the wrong way. I had to make a move. It could be any type of criminal activities that they were wanted for. And at that particular point, an alarm goes off in your mind. I knew at this time that the trooper had no other assistance at that point.
Now, only minutes away from Ken Pollock, the car was splitting the oncoming cars at nearly 100 miles an hour. Ken's first plan was to drive alongside the other cars and motion them off the highway to the safety of the shoulder. But unaware of the speeding car headed in their direction, they moved right back onto the highway.
Plan B was to start stopping all the vehicles to get them away from the cars up on the embankment, knowing all the time that I had approximately 2 to 3 minutes or maybe even 4 tops to do this. I was very excited, and I was even a little annoyed because they wasn't paying heed to what I was trying to tell them. Here I am, with a 4-day growth of beard and long scruffy hair and a Dallas shirt. I probably wouldn't have stopped for him either.
David and Laura Cannon and their baby were at the front of the line in their van.
What's happening?
I saw the badge. I thought, okay. I figured there was an accident or something that was happening.
The only thing that was going through my head was, I have to stop this somehow.
As the car reached the open highway, it began accelerating.
The speeding car was closing on me faster than I thought it was closing on me. And I seen that the Cannon van was still occupied. I knew there was only one thing that I had to do at that point to shield them from being hit.
And all of a sudden I looked up and saw the car coming.
She looked like she was on a suicide mission.
When she hit, all I could hear was metal. And I've never heard a sound like it. The first thought that came to my mind was the guy, whoever it was going to be in pieces. And I knew I had to get out of the van and check on whoever it was, but I didn't want to do it.
When I was struck like that and the impact that I was struck with, in my mind, I thought that was it. I thought I was going to die. Instantaneously, your life does flash in front of you, whether you want to believe that or not. And of course, I thought of my son right away, my one child who I had lost 7 years prior to that to an automobile crash. And I thought, well, Jeff, here I come, that's what I thought.
A white sedan slammed against Ken's car, then head-on into a Cadillac, critically injuring 2 women.
Mayhem, that's what happened that day. Basically, when you get in that car, you're probably getting in the most dangerous weapon that can be provided to you.
The driver of the speeding car was seriously injured. The driver's sister.
The main thing I want people to understand about that day is this was not the kind of thing my sister would have done ever in the past. The fact of it is, it was an ordinary person who just had some medical issues that caused some depression, some actions that were very out of the ordinary for her. She remembers that she had a feeling that things were out of control, but she didn't know how to get them back into control.
Because of the driver's acute depression, she was not found criminally responsible for the accident. No one was killed. The Cannons and their baby, whose van had been directly in the path of the speeding car, were not injured.
It's one thing to lay your life down for your friend or someone you know, care for very deeply, but for an absolute stranger, someone you have never seen before or will never see probably again, to do that is quite something else.
Ken Pollock was a hero, but the impact of the white sedan broke his nose, gave him permanent back problems and a long-term concussion.
I would say that definitely the accident has ended my career with Maryland State Police. It really does upset me because that's the only thing I ever loved to do. I was doing something that I knew that had to be done.
He will retire this year after 20 years as a cop.